Welcome to Lento English. Ready to level up your English? Here we learn through stories, slow, clear, and fun. Listen, relax, and enjoy the journey.
1. Introduction. Imagine a man from a long time ago from a beautiful country called Italy. His name was Leonardo da Vinci. He was a very special person, and many people still talk about him today. This man lived during a time called the Renaissance, which was a period when many new ideas and amazing art came to life. Leonardo was not just good at one thing, he was good at many, many things. People often call him a Renaissance man because of this. He was a painter, an inventor, and a scientist, all at the same time. His life was full of interesting work and big ideas. Leonardo da Vinci painted some of the most famous pictures in the world. You might know the Mona Lisa with her mysterious smile or the Last Supper, a very big painting in Italy. But he did more than just paint. He also had many clever ideas for machines. He drew plans for things like flying machines, which were like early airplanes, and even a type of tank. These ideas were hundreds of years ahead of their time. He also studied the world around him, like how the human body works and how water moves. He was always curious and wanted to understand everything. Because he was so good at so many things, many people think of Leonardo as a complete genius. They believe all his ideas were new and came only from his own mind. He truly was a brilliant person, and his work changed how people thought about art and science. However, this story will also ask a big question. Was Leonardo da Vinci a genius who created everything new, or did he sometimes use ideas from other people and make them better? This is a very interesting question to think about. Some people believe that while Leonardo was amazing, he might have looked at the work of other clever people from his time. He then took those ideas and improved them greatly. This does not mean he was not smart, but it adds another layer to his story. We will explore this idea in the chapters to come. We will look at his detailed notebooks, which are full of drawings and notes, some written in a secret way. These notebooks show how he thought and worked. This book will take you on a journey through Leonardo da Vinci's amazing life. We will learn about his famous paintings, his incredible inventions, and his smart scientific studies. We will also look at the secrets of his work and try to understand if he was always the first to think of everything. This is a lesson about a very important historical figure and the mysteries that still surround his genius. Get ready to discover the world of Leonardo da Vinci and decide for yourself if he was a true original or a clever borrower of ideas. 2. A man with many skills. The Renaissance was a very special time in Europe. It was a period of new ideas, great learning, and beautiful art. People started to think differently about the world. This was the time when Leonardo da Vinci lived. He was a perfect example of someone from this period. Leonardo is often called a Renaissance man. This means he was good at many different things. He did not just have one skill, he had several. He was a fantastic painter, a clever inventor, and a curious scientist. His many talents showed how much he wanted to learn and understand the world around him. As a painter, Leonardo created beautiful artworks. He knew how to use colors and light to make his pictures look very real. But his skills were not only about art. He also had a mind full of new ideas for machines. He drew many plans in his notebooks. These notebooks showed flying machines, which were like birds with wings, and even a type of armored tank. He also imagined a robot, a machine that could move like a person. These ideas were hundreds of years before anyone could build them. Leonardo was also a dedicated scientist. He wanted to know how everything in the world worked. He studied the human body very closely. He made many detailed drawings of bones and muscles to understand how people moved. He also looked at nature, like how plants grew, how animals lived, and how water flowed. His scientific studies helped him in his art and his inventions. He used what he learned about light and the human body to make his paintings more lifelike. He used his knowledge of movement and forces to design his machines. His great curiosity was the most important thing. Leonardo always asked questions. He wanted to know the why and how of everything. This strong desire to learn made him explore many different areas. He did not limit himself to just one subject. He moved between art, science, and invention easily. This desire to understand the world helped him learn so much and made him a truly special person. He used his eyes to see and his mind to think, always finding new things to explore. 3. The famous artist. Leonardo da Vinci was a very famous artist. Many people know him for his beautiful paintings. These artworks are important because they show his great skill. They also show how he saw the world. His art is still loved by millions of people today. It hangs in museums and churches, and many visitors come to see it every year. Leonardo's paintings are not just pictures, they tell stories and show deep feelings. He spent many hours working on each piece. One of his most famous paintings is the Mona Lisa. This painting shows a woman with a gentle smile. Her eyes seem to follow you when you move. People often wonder about her smile. Is she happy? Is she keeping a secret? Leonardo used a special way of painting to create this mystery. He made the edges of the colors soft so they blended together. This technique made the painting look very real, almost like the woman was alive. It also made her expression hard to understand completely, which makes people look at it for a long time. The Mona Lisa is a small painting, but it has a very big impact. Another amazing painting by Leonardo is The Last Supper. This is a very large painting on a wall in a church in Italy. It shows Jesus and his 12 friends, called disciples, eating together. Jesus has just told them that one of them will betray him. Leonardo painted the moment when everyone hears this news. Each person in the painting shows a different feeling: surprise, anger, sadness, or confusion. Leonardo carefully placed each person to show their reaction. The painting feels full of drama and emotion. He wanted to capture the human feelings of that important moment. Leonardo had special ways to paint. He used light and shadow very well. This made his figures look round and not flat. He also used a technique called sfumato. This means he painted without hard lines. The colors and shadows mixed together smoothly. This made his paintings look soft and real, like a dream. It helped him show the deep feelings of the people in his art. He wanted viewers to feel like they were truly looking at real people, not just painted figures. This made his art very powerful. Today, people from all over the world still travel to see Leonardo's art. They are amazed by the beauty and the feeling in his paintings. His art helps us understand human emotions. It shows us how people felt hundreds of years ago. His paintings are not just old pictures, they are windows into the human soul. They teach us about art, history, and ourselves. This is why Leonardo da Vinci is still known as one of the greatest artists ever. His work continues to inspire and touch hearts. 4. The great inventor. Leonardo da Vinci filled many special notebooks with his thoughts and drawings. These notebooks are like a secret window into his amazing mind. Inside them, he drew many incredible things. He wrote down ideas for machines that no one had ever seen before. These books show us how he thought about the world and how he wanted to understand everything. His curiosity led him to fill thousands of pages with plans and observations. His ideas for inventions were truly surprising for his time. He drew detailed pictures of machines that could fly. Imagine a machine that could carry a person high into the sky. He sketched designs for a large helicopter and a glider. He also planned a strong armored tank for fighting. This tank had wheels and could move across the ground, protecting soldiers inside. Another drawing showed a kind of robot, a mechanical knight that could move its arms and legs. These inventions were far into the future, hundreds of years before people actually made such machines work. Leonardo's notebooks had plans for many other clever things too. He drew ideas for strong bridges that could be built quickly. He designed new tools to make work easier for people. He thought about how water could be used to power machines or change the course of rivers. His mind was always busy with new ideas for practical problems. He was not just a painter. He was a true inventor who saw the world as a place full of challenges to solve. But most of his amazing inventions were never built during his lifetime. There were many reasons for this. Sometimes, the special materials needed were not available. Other times, the technology was simply not advanced enough. It was very hard to build such complex machines with the tools and knowledge of his time. So his brilliant drawings and plans often stayed only on paper. They were ideas waiting for a future time when people could finally bring them to life. Even though they were not built, these drawings are incredibly important today. They show us Leonardo's great vision and how he imagined a world with advanced machines. He thought about how people could fly, how armies could have new tools, and how everyday tasks could be made easier. His notebooks are a treasure of human ingenuity. They prove he was a great inventor, even if his creations only lived in his mind and on paper for a very long time. 5. The smart scientist. Leonardo da Vinci was not only a great artist and inventor, he was also a very smart scientist. He wanted to understand how everything worked. This led him to study many things, from the smallest plants to the human body itself. His scientific work helped him make his art and inventions better. One of his most important scientific studies was of the human body. This was called anatomy. In Leonardo's time, studying the human body in this way was very difficult and often forbidden. It was against the rules of the church. But Leonardo believed it was important to know what was inside people. He wanted to understand how bones, muscles, and organs worked together. He thought this knowledge would help him paint people more realistically. To do this, Leonardo studied human bodies in secret. He carefully looked at more than 30 bodies. He drew everything he saw with great detail. His notebooks are full of amazing drawings of bones, muscles, and blood vessels. These drawings were very accurate. They showed how different parts of the body moved and connected. This deep understanding helped him a lot with his art. When he painted people, he could make them look very real. He knew exactly how an arm bent or how a face showed emotion because he knew what was underneath the skin. Leonardo also studied nature around him. He looked closely at plants, animals, and even how water moved. He drew many different kinds of plants, showing their leaves, flowers, and roots. He watched animals to see how they walked, ran, or flew. He studied rivers and streams, drawing how water flowed, made waves, and changed the land. He wanted to learn the natural rules of the world. These studies were not just for fun. They helped his other work. His understanding of birds and how they flew helped him design flying machines. His knowledge of water helped him think about new ways to move water or build bridges. His science made his art and inventions much better. He used his scientific mind to see the world clearly and to create things that were far ahead of his time. He showed that art, invention, and science could all work together. He was a true explorer of knowledge, always asking how and why. 6. A different story. Many people think Leonardo da Vinci had all new ideas. They believe every drawing and every invention came only from his own mind. But we can ask a different question. Were all his ideas truly new? Or did he sometimes look at the work of others and make it better? During Leonardo's time, the Renaissance, many smart people were working on new machines. They were engineers and inventors just like him. Some of these people had ideas similar to Leonardo's. For example, there were inventors like Guido di Vigevano and Taccola. These men also drew plans for different machines. Their ideas were often about flight or new ways to build things. Leonardo was very clever. He saw these earlier ideas. Then he took them and made them much, much better. He added more details. He thought about how the machines would truly work. He improved the designs greatly. So while he might not have been the first person to think of a flying machine, his plans were often more complete and advanced. He built on what was already there. He changed old ideas into something new and exciting. This ability to improve was a big part of his genius. Leonardo also had a special way of writing his notes. He wrote them backwards. This is called mirror writing. You needed a mirror to read his words easily. Why did he do this? One idea is that he wanted to keep his thoughts secret. Perhaps he did not want other people to steal his ideas. Or maybe he wanted to protect his studies, especially those not popular with everyone, like his study of the human body. This secret writing shows he was careful with his discoveries. His notebooks were full of these mirror-written ideas. They were like secret treasures, waiting for someone to unlock them. It was a unique way to keep his many inventions and scientific findings safe from curious eyes. He filled thousands of pages with these special notes, hiding his true thoughts in plain sight. This made his work even more mysterious and interesting. His mirror writing also made it harder for others to copy his work directly. He was not just an inventor, but also a clever protector of his own mind. He used this method for almost all his personal notes. This special writing adds another layer to the story of Leonardo da Vinci. It makes us think about why he chose this unusual way to write. Some people believe it was simply easier for him as a left-handed person. Whatever the reason, it is certainly a fascinating detail about his life and work, showing his unique approach to everything. 7. Big problems. Leonardo da Vinci was a man of many talents, but his life was not always easy. He faced some big problems during his time. These challenges show that he was a bold thinker, even if it caused trouble. One main problem Leonardo had was with the church. He wanted to understand the human body very well. To do this, he had to study dead bodies. This act was called dissecting. In Leonardo's time, many people thought this was wrong. The church did not like people opening human bodies. It was a very shocking and difficult thing to do. Because of this, Leonardo had to work in secret. He studied more than 30 dead bodies to learn about bones, muscles, and how the body worked. This secret work was dangerous, but it helped him make his art and science better. Another big problem was a plan he made with a famous writer named Niccolo Machiavelli. They had a very bold idea. They wanted to change the path of a river called the Arno. This river was near the city of Pisa. Florence, Leonardo's city, was at war with Pisa. The plan was to move the river away from Pisa. This would hurt Pisa and help Florence win the war. It was a very big and difficult engineering project, like trying to steal a river. This plan shows that Leonardo was willing to take big risks. However, like many of Leonardo's projects, the river plan was never finished. This was another problem in his life. He was famous for not finishing many of his paintings and other works. He had hundreds of amazing ideas for inventions in his notebooks, like flying machines and tanks. But very few of these were actually built while he was alive. Some of his paintings, even famous ones, took a very long time to complete, and some were left unfinished. It seemed he had so many new ideas that he sometimes moved on to a different project before finishing the last one. These problems show that Leonardo da Vinci was a man who pushed boundaries. He was not afraid to try new things or break rules in his search for knowledge, but it also meant that many of his great works remained only as ideas in his notebooks. 8. What do we think? We have now looked closely at the life of Leonardo da Vinci. He lived during the Renaissance, a time of new ideas and great change. He was truly a Renaissance man, meaning he was good at many different things. He was a great painter, a clever inventor, and a curious scientist. His work still amazes us today, hundreds of years later, showing his incredible mind. His art, like the Mona Lisa with its mysterious smile and the powerful scene of the Last Supper, is famous all over the world. He painted in special ways to make his pictures look very real and full of feeling. But he did much more than just paint. His notebooks show us drawings of amazing inventions such as flying machines, armored tanks, and even early ideas for robots. These ideas were far ahead of his time. He also studied the human body in great detail and explored nature to understand how the world works. He wanted to learn everything he could. However, we also learned that not all his ideas were completely new. Sometimes he took old ideas from other people, like other engineers of his time, and made them much better. He was very good at improving what already existed, building on the knowledge of others. He even wrote his secret notes backwards, using mirror writing. This was possibly to keep his discoveries safe and private, adding to his mysterious nature. Leonardo was also a man who was not afraid to break rules in his search for knowledge. He studied human bodies by dissecting them, which was dangerous and not allowed by the church in his time. This shows his dedication to understanding. He even planned with a man named Machiavelli to change the path of a river, a very bold project. This shows he was willing to take big risks. It is also true that many of his big ideas and paintings were never finished. He had many plans and dreams, but not all of them became real during his lifetime. So, now we must ask ourselves, what do we think about Leonardo da Vinci? Was he a true genius who thought of everything himself? Or was he a clever person who borrowed ideas, improving them greatly? Perhaps he was a bit of both, a complicated mix of original thought and brilliant development. He was a brilliant man who pushed the limits of what was known and accepted. His life teaches us that learning and discovery can be complicated, full of challenges and amazing achievements. The answer is not simple, and that is why his story remains so interesting and important today.